Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. I'm here, and I apologize for being a little bit late to those of you who watch live. Sibling and I are having a spirited debate, or a spirited talk. I shouldn't say a debate, a spirited talk. Just about different things. So, always fun to get the mental juices rolling in the morning, right? So, and when I say spirited, I mean that means it was friendly. So, don't take that the wrong way. Anyway, how is everyone this morning? Happy Friday. It's Aloha Friday. No work till Monday. So anyways, I'm going to start with the angel answer cards. It is Aloha Oracle Friday. Good morning, baby sibling. It's Aloha Oracle Friday, and I'm here to bring you messages from beyond. I know. So here's a few things before I start. I really need to write these down because like every week I forget. But number one, first and foremost, try not to worry about where you think the message is coming from. Okay. I work in a very benevolent energy. So, I don't want anyone to freak out and say, oh my God, devil worship. It's like, no, it is not. In fact, most people who do these things actually don't even believe in either or. So, it's not the movies, guys. But yeah, so don't worry about the message, just, or don't worry about where it's coming from. Just worry about the message that you're getting. Number two, if it does not resonate with you, please, please, please do not force it, because that will only cause you to overthink. That will cause, it'll just make it worse. And then you'll be like, this stuff doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if it's not meant for you. So, but it's meant for somebody out there. And that doesn't mean that at some point something won't come up for you. Something might. We usually spend about an hour doing this. So, and I say we because it's alive. So we usually spend about an hour doing this. And it doesn't have to, you don't have to watch it live in order for you to get something from it. If the message is meant for you and it resonates with you, it will come through, whether it's live or on a replay. Okay. So please, that should actually be my number one rule, but it's like a 1A. If it does not resonate with you, it does not give you any feels whatsoever, please do not try to force it. All right. Number three, I use my spidey instincts. I use the messages I hear from my guide that I tap into, and Archangel Gabriel that I also tap into. And I also use the book. I figure people wrote this, right? So I should probably tell you what they want. Because a lot of times what I'm saying may be for specific people, or maybe even just that one person out there who's watching now or later. So that might resonate with that message. But sometimes the book will have exactly what somebody else needs to hear. So I do both, and a lot of times you'll see that I'm surprised because, I have so many decks that I don't always get to use the same ones all the time. This is probably the only one I use consistently right now. And sometimes you can see on my face when I feel like I nailed it, right? Because it's like it matches the book. So anyways, let's just get rolling, see what messages we have for today. All right, nothing is popping out. I'm going to give it one last shuffle. Let's get rolling. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. I know it's early in most places where people are watching, but I do hope you have a great day, and I hope you had a good week. Despite everything that may have happened in your week, I hope you had a great week. So, card number one. Dun, 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 dun. Helpful people. Helpful people. Yesterday, we had a card that said, it was a card of generosity from the Affirmators deck, which is right there behind me. But yesterday we had a card about generosity. And generosity isn't always about money or monetary value of things. It's about time. It's about volunteering. It's about just being there for people. It's about being of service to other people. And when it comes to helpful people, that could go one way or the other. It could be you helping someone, or it could be someone helping you, or it could go both ways, right? Maybe in some weird way, you're helping each other without even realizing it until after you're like, oh, whoa, I didn't even realize that was happening. So, when it comes to being helpful people, allow people in you know, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. I know a lot of times, you know, we're taught you have to be self-sufficient. If you need help, you're not doing it right. I disagree with that on some level. I mean, there's some people who just kind of need to be told something similar to that. Not if you need help, you're not doing it right. No, that's just the wrong way to go about it. And again, remember, this is all my perspective. So, you know, what I say may not fit everybody else. But when we're trying to teach people, a lot of times, you know, especially in the generation I grew up in, it's like, you know, I mean, and it was nobody's fault because that's how they were brought up. You know, they were brought up to, I have to do everything for myself if you want to get it done right. Well, sometimes teamwork is not a bad thing. You know, there are times when I have learned how to reach out now. I have learned to reach out to people and say, you know what, I need someone to talk this through with me because I'm so stuck. It's not even funny. You know, and I have been stuck for a few days now and I keep thinking I can do it on my own and it's not working. So at some point, I know I'm going to need to give up the ghost and just say, you know what, will someone please help me? Because I need to get out of my head and get into this path of mine. So, you know, don't just push away people who are trying to be helpful. All right. Because they're there for a reason and they're trying to help you. You know, and this is funny. This is the first time I've ever seen this card. So this card indicates that it's time to expand your circle of friends, or you may find yourself needing to do some professional networking. Make time to branch out in order to create the personal or career connections necessary to be happy and successful. So there you go. Oh, sorry, there's more. This card can also indicate that your situation requires the input of those who can assist you in accomplishing the task before you. This may include professionals in fields related to your question or others who work for or around you. It could also include people in your personal life who have experience that would be useful. This card lets you know that someone will be entering your life soon who can help make your dreams come true. Ooh, that sounds exciting. I like this card. But whatever it is, stay open to possibility. Stay open to opportunity. Stay open to people offering you help. I mean, okay, so we're going to jump into the law of attraction thinking for a moment, or manifestation. A lot of people get hung up on, you know, specific books and whatnot that talk about law of attraction, but I'm talking about it as a whole. So it's kind of encompassing when you pray, when you set intentions, or when you're trying to manifest. Now, imagine you're sitting at a coffee shop. Okay, I don't know why that popped in my head, but just imagine you're sitting at a coffee shop, some random place. You've got your computer open or your notebook or whatever it is you're using to try to brainstorm. And you're sitting there and, you know, maybe you're thinking, God, how am I going to get this idea off the ground? How am I going to do this, that, or the other? You know, or maybe you're just feeling kind of low and you're just like, I don't know how to push forward from here. How do I push forward from here? And then all of a sudden, randomly, something happens and someone starts talking to you. Now, I think I realized why I brought up the coffee shop, because something similar like this happened to me just over a month ago. I went to have coffee with one of my good friends, and while I was waiting for her, I'm one of those people, I used to take pictures of my food and drinks all the time. Sometimes I still do if it looks, look, you know what? I know people laugh at that, but I'm going to just say this right now. I appreciate the art and the artistry that goes into some of these dishes that people put together, because they are literally creating a work of art for you that you are going to destroy. Okay? And so it's just like a cake, right? You see all these baking shows. These people are baking these works of art just for them to end up in crumbs and bits of frosting everywhere. So yeah, I'm going to appreciate it. And I finally got to my place that had the cup and saucer with the coffee. And, you know, the girl made this really pretty, beautiful heart in it. You know, like, you know, the little designs they put in your cup. And I was trying so hard to get a picture, but my phone kept freezing. Excuse me. And I could not figure out why. My phone just kept freezing, or for some reason it would be off center, or it would show like it took the picture, but they would come out blurry. And it was the universe working for me, because I was in this place right before I got to that point of healing, where I said, you know, I mentioned this last week that I hit a point where I'm healed and I'm able to move on now, but I felt stuck. And I felt like, I needed kind of not necessarily an opportunistic boost. I needed a moral boost. And so this one girl comes walking by, and she's very metaphysically minded like myself, but I didn't know that at first. But she comes walking by and she's like, "You're really trying to get the best picture, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I don't know what keeps happening, but my phone keeps freezing." And then she saw my earrings that I had made. Oh God, I forgot to put my earrings on today. Sorry, I'm taking a moment. Anyways, while I'm telling the story, I'll put on my earrings. So I had made these very specific earrings with the evil eye on it. In fact, they're right here, so I'll show them to you. And she noticed them. Okay, they're like so, she noticed them. She's like, "Oh, I love your earrings. They're really, really pretty." And I told her thank you. And I said, "Yeah, she's like, "I love the fact that you use the evil eye in there." And so, of course, that gets us talking, because I'm like, "Oh, you actually know what that is?" And I said, "Most people don't seem to. Or, some people do, but not everybody." And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And then we just started talking. And then at some point she starts referring to me as a goddess, and how all women are goddesses, and that we have to, stick together, work together, support one another in our businesses, and this, that, and the other. And that helped me also break free from this competitive streak. I'm a Capricorn. Capricorns can be very competitive. And it's not, to me, my finest trait. It can be a good thing in certain aspects, but there's room for everybody in this world. Because even if you're putting out similar products, you're putting it out to different people. And those people may need the energy that you're putting into it. And so that turned out to be a very, very helpful person. So, a lot of times when I do these readings, guys, I will share experiences, because it's not just about reading the books or sharing the message. It's about being relatable and showing people that, even when you feel like no one's listening, like maybe your source is not listening, God's not listening, the universe not listening, whoever you turn to as your higher power, your angels, spirit guides, whoever, sometimes it feels they're not listening. It feels like they're not listening. And then something random will happen. But a lot of times we'll just be like, "Wow, that was cool." But we'll forget that there was a hand in it, that something made that happen. I truly believe something in the universe, one of my guides in the universe made that happen that day. Because this person's a very motivational person. We do follow each other on social media now. But I suspect that even though we haven't talked in a while, that I think somewhere down the road, this person is going to impact my life once again. I'm not sure how, but I know it will be in a good way. And it was just, I don't know. There was just something very magical about that. But, in the past, I would have never saw what that was for what it was. But when she walked away, the first thing I did, my friend arrived. Believe it or not, my friend, who was nearby already, walked in right after she had gone outside. And I was like, "Oh my God, I got the greatest story to tell you." And so I was sharing it with her. And then she shared a story with me about how this weird divine thing had just happened. Now, mind you, I had no idea this place existed. It is 5 minutes from my house. And my friend, who lives about half an hour away, is the one that picked it. So all the higher powers, all the beings, all the things that we sometimes ignore and forget to be grateful for, made everything happen in that moment to help push me forward. Because I asked, I let it go. I stopped, obsessing over how am I going to do this. And I just gave it up, and I let it do what it needed to do. And the universe and source brought something back to me that I needed. It's not always going to be financial, guys. Sometimes it's going to be people who are going to push your vibe in the right direction. All right. So number 2, don't stop. Don't stop believing. Go listen to Journey. Don't stop believing. But don't stop. Whatever it is you're doing, keep going. Keep going, okay? That's why helpful people come along. There a lot of time, and that's exactly what I was saying, right? I felt stuck. And so I needed that push, and it just happened to come from someone I never knew. Because I will tell you this, after we talked, I not only got the perfect picture, but my coffee, which was now like about 5 minutes old, still held that design. right? And I got the picture I wanted. I was so giddy. I was so excited, and nothing was wrong with my phone for the rest of the day. See how that works? So anyways, but don't stop. Keep believing. Keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. Even when you feel stuck, that's when you reach out to the helpful people for help. That's when you reach out to people and say, okay, you know what? I'm not feeling like I'm in my right place right now. Please, can you help me kind of find some clarity? But don't just give up. When we stop, we're giving up. Because we're just like, well, this is too much. Well, you have to push through. Think of it as like opening a bag of candy, right? Sometimes it goes everywhere and you're just like, I knew that was going to happen. So the next time you try to open it, you're so careful that you can't get it open because you're so afraid that it's going to go flying everywhere. So instead of just taking your time, you're fighting with it. And you're just like, because you got that fear in the back of your head that this is what's going to happen. Instead of going to grab a pair of scissors and maybe cutting the very dirty top off to see what's going to happen if you have scissors nearby, or asking someone to help you open it, you just start getting more frustrated, you start getting angry, and maybe you just throw it aside and you're like, forget it. Now, I know that's kind of a weird metaphor to use, but it's the one that popped in my head. So I'm literally like craving Skittles. So I've been craving Skittles for about 2 years now. But every time I see them, it's like, I don't want any. So I know it's weird. Fun fact. But as weird as that metaphor is, it's kind of like life, right? Something feels like it's exploded all around you. Like you tried so hard to make something work and it just feels like it went everywhere. And it was just frustrating. So the next time you're in a certain situation, you're afraid to really just pull open that bag because you're afraid that it's going to go everywhere, right? So you just struggle with it. You struggle with it. And you struggle with it. And you just can't get it open. So you quit instead of saying, hey, would you mind helping me with this? Don't stop. Ask for help if you need it, okay? So let's see. Let's see what the book has to say. I always keep forgetting about the book, you guys. It's like I always want to move on to the next card because I get so excited during these. This is not the time to give up. Continue to move in the direction of your hopes, dreams, or plans. You are on the right path and you should see progress as long as you stay the course. You have to stay the course to see the progress. It's very important that you stand your ground and believe in yourself. Don't let others intimidate you into quitting. Just because they don't have your vision doesn't mean you shouldn't follow your heart. I'm going to share a story that my friend shared with me last weekend, the one I told you I had a long talk with. It's about Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, right, in the Marvel universe. Hi, we Asians have a superhero, and we metaphysical people have one too, Doctor Strange. But come on, seriously, I love all the Marvel characters, but I have my favorites. But anyways, my friend sent this to me, and I don't know if it was April of this year or April of last year, but it was something that he found motivating, and he sent it to me to kind of motivate me. And Simu Liu was basically talking about on April 12th how it had been 10 years since this one company just up and let him go for no reason. Now, I know I shared this a little bit this last week during one of the talks, but when he walked out, when he was escorted out, he said every cubicle he passed, no one made eye contact, nobody offered words of encouragement. They just all kept their heads down and this, that, and the other. Then he talked about how he felt like he let everybody down. His parents, for all the money they spent on his education, this, that, and the other. But he also notes later that he was living somebody else's life, not the life he wanted. So he decided, I'm going to try this. He took every odd job he could think of while he was trying to break into the business. And within the 10 years, well, not even 10 years, right? Because it was 10 years to that day and he had already become part of the Marvel family. So within that decade though, his life had changed because he started living, and it was hard, but he didn't stop. He got help from other people, but he chose to live his life. And he even says it, I was living my life. And then he cap locked it, mine, with an exclamation mark. And it was so inspiring to read that, because it's like, you know what? This is a person that didn't give up. This is a person that kept believing in their dreams. And now look where he's at, right? So, you know, there are certain fandoms in entertainment that I swear, even if you're a guest star for a season, the minute you're on there, the fans are so dedicated that you will have a blue check mark next to your name like that. And they embrace you. You know, they sit there and, I mean, they may not know you, but they'll embrace you. And I see it on Twitter all the time. It's like, I had no idea who this person is, but all of a sudden, bam, you know. And it's not a bad thing. They will get pretty defensive for you, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the point is that he never stopped believing, and he never stopped thinking he was going to make it. A lot of times people that don't make it, it's because, you know, they're in a negative mindset. They keep thinking, won't. For instance, the other day, I was gratituding with the universe. I said, you know, I don't know how to do this, but, you know, I have been making jewelry. And a lot of it just started because I needed something to get me out of my head. Right? So I started doing this. Then all of a sudden, I get friended by this person who's liked a bunch of stuff in the jewelry folder I have on Facebook. And I asked baby sibling, I said, do you know who this is? And she's like, oh yeah, I met her at the Apple store the other day. And bam. I don't know if anything's going to come of it, but the point is, somebody else who I did not know saw my work, which I think was a sign for me of the universe saying, we hear you, just let us do what we need to do. You know, and I don't know what's going to come of it. It may be a stepping stone onto something different for me, because these are not things I ever thought I would be able to do. This was my mom's gift, my mom's hobby. You know, jewelry, scrapbooking, all these things that she used to do. I mean, she was creative AF. But then one day I sat down and I saw a movie and I thought, well, you know what? A lot of times I can't find earrings I like. So I'm going to just make my own. But then it just got to be such an obsession with me in a way, because it not only did I get out of my head, but it was fun. I mean, it was like a beautiful mind in its own, you know, creative way. I put these things on my desk and I would just see it in my head and go, oh my God, this is great. And then poof, there it was. And the biggest thing I got out of it was not that, oh, I could maybe sell some of these things. It was that this has never been something in my wheelhouse, but look, I did it. And I've sold pieces. I've had people ask me to make stuff for them that they commissioned. And I make it sound like it's a big thing, which it really isn't. But I mean, I've put things up that didn't even make it, you know, past 10 minutes of being online. I've had put things up that haven't even made it past this house, because I have somebody who likes to, you know, who I run things by. Like, what do you think about this? I want to buy it. I love my older sister, but sometimes I told her, I said, I'm not showing you anything anymore. Nothing's ever going to get out of this house. But my point is that, you know, when we stop and get out of our heads, we might discover that we have talents that we never realized we had. And it's not about jewelry making. It's not about, you know, loving to be a writer or any of those things. What it's about is getting out of our head and seeing what we're capable of. When I made my very first piece, I thought, oh my gosh, and I wore it, and somebody's like, oh my God, I love those. It made me feel good, because it was something I put my love into. It's something I put my heart into. And, you know, I didn't stop. I didn't let my mental health hold me down. So anyway, sorry, I'm so tired, you guys. I am still so tired from yesterday, so I'm all over the place. So take action. You know what I find interesting about don't stop and take action? They both have rainbows in them. And of course, happy Pride to all those who observe, to my family and friends who, you know, of the LGBTQ community. Happy Pride Month to all of you. I will just throw this in really quick. I'm a very proud ally. Oh my God. Wow. Hi, happy Pride. The besties on. And there you go. See? Thank you, Troy. Talk about being helpful people. He just said it in the comments. Don't stop taking action. There you go. Threw me that the bestie's on. But yeah, happy Pride. So anyways, I am a proud ally, guys. I'm a very proud ally. I will fight for you to the ends of the earth. But don't stop taking action. I think he put it perfectly. So see, the universe was listening, because the minute I said, I am so tired, I can't put a thought together, bam, there's Troy. Troy has been saving my ass for years and decades. So, true story, whatever. But anyways, take action. The time has come to take action. Your angels are waiting for you to take the next step so they can assist you along the path to your dreams. Do away with procrastination and uncertainty. Procrastination. That should be my middle name. In your heart, you know what to do, so get going. Whether you're focused upon career, relationships, or other topics, the fulfillment of your wishes isn't going to just fall into your lap. You must be actively focused on the pursuit of what you want. Now, a lot of times you're going to think, oh, but I've tried breaking down every door. I've tried doing this. I've tried doing that. But when you put your prayer, your intention, or your manifestation out there, did you try to also control the outcome? If you're trying to control the outcome, you can knock on all the doors you want. But if you are going to put something out to the universe, to your source, to whatever, and then you try to control it, you are literally squeezing the life out of it. Literally. Because what's happening is you are giving it zero wiggle room. You are putting a big idea into a tiny, tiny box, and it can't move. Instead of a big ass box with an opening in case it needs more wiggle room. If you are going to set an intention and you have something that you want to make happen, put it out there, let it go, and let them do what they need to do. Give them the wiggle room. Give them the space they need to make something come to fruition for you. Now, that doesn't mean don't stop. Because it's like, even Troy put it together. Don't stop taking action. But sometimes the action is you believing and trusting that everything is going to be okay. On top of everything that you already done. So all those doors that you knocked on while you were controlling, if you give it a second to breathe and you open that box and let it go free, whatever your intention or your manifestation or your prayer is, funny enough, you will probably get a call back from somebody. Truly. Because now you're letting your source do the work that it needs to do. It's teamwork. The card said helpful people at the beginning, but it could be just helpful everything. So you have to listen, and you have to just trust. Okay, I don't know. Some of these cards aren't resonating with me. So, and if they don't resonate, I know they're not for this reading. So big happy changes. All right. So we're going to stop with this deck on that one. So when don't stop, I'm going to rearrange these to the right thing. Don't stop taking action. If you need to, reach out to helpful people, and that will help with big happy changes. Yeah, it seems sunshiny. Yeah, it seems, like it's what you need. I will say this, though. This card did come up, so this is a side note. This one is actually becoming like a story. This group right here. This one, not so much. Okay, so if there is something that you want to pursue, whoever you are out there, this does not go with the other cards, okay? This is a side note for a bunch of someones who know the answer is no, but keep trying to push it. So I'm telling you, no, now is not the time. Now is not the time. So big happy changes. I know that should be pretty self-explanatory, right? But again, everything I just talked about, band-aids. So everything I just talked about, when you learn to let go and to let the process happen, when you learn to trust and believe and have faith in what it is that you are trying to bring into your life, big happy changes will occur. Okay, big happy changes. If it doesn't, that means that there's something out there that's better for you, or it could be a fixed moment in your life that might, that when that time passes, it will push you in the direction you need to go in. That was one of the things I had to come to grips with when my mother died. I realized for all the gifts that I have, including I will say it, the gift of healing, I couldn't help her. And, yes. And, like baby sibling says, I like the big happy changes with focusing on the new direction. A lot of times we're afraid to go in the new direction because of uncertainty. So we procrastinate. Or because change and facing the unknown can be scary, but it can also be exciting. So if you love roller coasters, think of it that way. I know, that used to be the metaphor at the very, very beginning of this journey years ago. I used to tell baby sibling, I said, am I being shot out of a cannon or am I on a roller coaster now? And sometimes she would say both, to which I would just feel like fainting and dying. Just be like, oh my God. But going back to my mom's thing, I realized that what happened with her and what happened with Sissy, as terrible and horrible and awful as they were, and how I wish that it wasn't the case, they were fixed points in my life. And they were part of the building blocks of who I am now, who I've become. And it hurts that those kind of fixed points have to happen. But even my friend that, passed away when she took her own life, that was also a building block in all of this. I mean, I had been on the fence about advocating for mental health about 5 years ago. And when that happened, I'm like, I have to start saying something. I have to start being open and being more honest with myself about what I struggle with. And now I'm in a place where I'm more balanced and I feel like I'm more healed. And that's the important part, is getting to that place where we can find some semblance of balance. Okay, so big positive changes are coming into your life. You may find yourself on a new career path, entering a new relationship, or moving to a new home or city. I feel someone getting giddy. Like, oh my God, this is for me. Embrace these exciting events, knowing that your angels will be beside you all the way. What you are asking about may require you to take leaps of faith that seem frightening, or beyond your ability. What were we just talking about? Trust that the opportunities before you are meant to bring you happiness. These options would not have presented themselves unless you were ready for them. So release your fears and follow your heart. So remember, don't stop taking action. If you need help, get it, because it will help you get to the big happy changes. All right. So let's move to the New Orleans deck. For anybody just popping on now, Friday is Oracle Friday. I move away from the subjects of the week and topics that we normally have, and we just go into the weekend feeling rather whimsical and fun. So yeah, this one's one of my favorite decks. I love this deck. It's so pretty. It's so colorful. And I just got a comment, and I have to say that I had a vision of that exactly happening. Giddy, like getting all kind of in your chair. So, connected. But yes, and by the way, angels are non-denominational. But, like I said, if that's not your thing, just think of it as being source, okay? Don't worry about the message and how it's coming through. Just focus on the message itself. So let's see. Why does nothing want to come out? Oh, maybe because that's it. Oh, number one. Gratitude. I was just telling somebody about this yesterday. Gratitude. Now, I'm going to tell you something about gratitude really quick, okay? Because like I said, I always have something to say from experience on these cards before I tell you what I'm thinking. But I think the experience I'm about to tell you about is kind of the definition that I'm getting before we get to the book about gratitude. Gratitude will change your fucking life. All right? You guys know I get mouthy, so, don't be surprised. But, it will. Now, a few years ago, when I tried gratitude, it was like, yeah, F this. I can't stand it. It's stupid. It's not helping. It's not working. Well, that's because when you gratitude and say it's not working, it's not going to work, because you're literally negating your gratitude with negativity. So if you're going to use gratitude, you have to wield it like a sword and a shield, right? Like you have to, if you have to start that way, I mean, eventually it just becomes like a very, Mary Poppins thing. And by that, I mean, she will sprinkle you with gratitude or she will smack you with it. All right. But either way, she wants the good intention for you. It's just, how do you want to go about it? When I first started trying to use gratitude because I was trying to come out of a dark place, somebody says, well, you have to be grateful for everything around you. I literally wanted to punch them in the face and say, fuck you. You be grateful. You be grateful about everything around you, because I don't see it. But as I moved along, and as I started doing the book I was talking about now, that older sibling and I have been running through, we're on day 21 today, I think. And I've realized that I was misusing it this whole time. I was trying to use it as like a genie in a bottle, as opposed to using it as a place that raises my vibe, or as something that raises my vibe, that helps me to see what I need to see, that helps me to be grateful for everything around me, including these cards. I'm grateful for all of these decks that I have. I don't just buy decks all willy-nilly. I will see other people using them, or I'll see them online, and it's like they just resonate with me. And this one, I don't even remember how I saw it, but I just fell in love with it because, I mean, look how colorful and beautiful they are, you know? And, you know, you can say a lot of things about New Orleans and how dangerous or whatever it might be, but these people are happy. I mean, these are the kind of bands that play at every event, whether it's a wedding or a funeral. I want a jazz band when I die, leading me to the graveyard. You know, well, obviously, you know, California's kind of spread out, but you know what I mean. All right. And I have been to several jazz funerals, and I will tell you, because of older sibling, I will tell you, they're fantastic. It's like you feel bad because you're leaving in a good mood, but it's a reminder of the life that these people lived. And I just noticed, I usually don't notice the time, but I just noticed it's 9/12, and that's the day my mother died. And I think that's her thing saying to me, you're finally getting it, Shelley Marie. Or babe, you're finally getting it. She called me babe. Babe, you're finally getting it. And I am. So the other day, I was talking to a friend. They've been going through some pretty miserable stuff. And I said, you have to use gratitude. You are going to have to gratitude your way out of this to find that vibe, to get into that vibe again. Because the one thing the negative energy hates is somebody who actually can feel the gratitude. That is your sword and your shield. That is your, you know, that is your force field. That is your, you know, Mr. Sulu, raise the shields, okay? Or Mr. Scott, whichever. I'm just, like I said, I'm so tired I can't even think of who does what, but on the Enterprise. That's what it's about. It's about shielding yourself from all the negative things so that you can take action, so you don't stop taking action, so you can get to that place where you have those big happy changes, where you get to that place where you realize when you get stuck, you can reach out to helpful people, that you can, you know, get that guidance that you need to push you over the hump. And that's what gratitude does. So to anybody that I may have said F you to when you told me use gratitude, I apologize, because now I see what you were doing. Right? Bestie says, don't wear the red shirts when raising the shields. Seriously, the poor red shirts guy. Well, I don't know, because, you know, Scotty wore a red shirt, but he was high ranking. So if you're a low ranking red shirt person, stay on the ship. Okay? Do not let Captain Kirk send you on a mission, because you will die. So I know that went ominous really quick, but no, gratitude. Be grateful you're not wearing a red shirt if you're going down to the planet of scary things. So, but no, gratitude. I even put a little disclaimer on there when I was talking to my friend, and I said, you know what? I know you're going through a rough time, and me saying gratitude to you is probably making you want to slap the shit out of me. But I said, it will work. I promise you. But you have to believe in it. You have to put it in your heart. In fact, yesterday's lesson was about feeling gratitude. It was about going through the list of things that you want, or the things that you need to feel grateful for in your life. And they gave all different examples. But what I found was the one where, you know, it says, put your hand over your heart when you're saying thank you. And I thought, that's bullshit. That's not going to work. Because I've tried it a million times when I've gone through. This is like the 4th time I'm doing this book. And it's the first time it's actually sticking and making sense to me, because I'm in a different place now. But I put my hand on my heart. I even did it this morning. And yesterday I was super tired, so I thought, well, I feel it a little, but this morning I did it when I was doing my gratitude, and I went through each one of my things, and I had my hand over my heart, and it was like, oh my God, I can feel it. And it wasn't because my hand was on my heart, in the sense that I was trying to like be, oh, thank you. It was because I was making a very significant gesture to feel the gratitude. And by having my hand on my heart, I reminded myself why my hand was there. It was to feel that gratitude. So gratitude can be an amazing thing if you use it the way it's supposed to be used. So gratitude, second line. Second line parades are a staple of New Orleans culture. The uplifting music and dance signifies prevailing circumstances through celebration. Whether in celebration of marriage, death, or just the good times in between, second line parades always emphasize leaning on gratitude and appreciation because all is never lost. This card signifies that it's time for you to remember to celebrate. Remember to celebrate. Sometimes looking at the big picture and all the steps between the beginning and the end can make it seem like you're on an overwhelming, endless journey. Giving yourself moments to enjoy an accomplishment, even if it's just the fact that you're still trying, is reason enough to celebrate. The more that you tap into your gratitude and appreciation, the sooner you will see things moving more quickly in your desired direction. Feel the music of life and dance a little. You're on your way and you always have been. What I find interesting in there is the word journey stood out to me. And the keep going part, if you're still trying. And that goes right back to the first set of cards. Don't stop taking action. Don't stop taking action. And, thank you, Troy, also for putting that out there, because that made perfect sense. When I saw it on the two cards separately, my brain was just not putting it together. But this is what I'm talking about. Right before that, I said, whoa, I'm struggling a little bit because I'm so tired. And then poof, besties on, and baby siblings on. And they're both kind of guiding me through with what they're talking about, like her and her big happy changes with focusing on the new direction. Now, going in new directions is not always easy. It's scary AF. Okay, we all know that. And, it can be super duper freaky and whatnot. But we find a way, right? We find a way. And when you start finding a way, that's where gratitude comes in. Be thankful for everything. Look back, because, a lot of times you may feel like you haven't gone far enough, and then you look back and you're like, holy shit, I've come a long way. And sometimes that's exactly what I need to do. I need to look back just long enough to see how far I've come. Don't keep staring at the past, because you might get sucked back into it. But look back just long enough, as older sibling would say, to see how far you've come. And if you don't need that boost, then do what my mother always says. Don't look back, you're not going that way. And again, when you do need the boost, look back just long enough to see how far you've come. Now, the second card I pulled was flow. We've had this one before. Gratitude will lead you to flow. So don't stop taking action. Use your gratitude. Ask for helpful people so you can get the big happy changes when you learn to go with the flow. Flow is the natural balance of all beings and things. The movement of the ocean and the cycles of the moon are all perfect examples of flow. They are ever changing without judgment and of fluid form. Much like the ocean, the human experience of flow can be rather unpredictable. However, it is always as it should be. It is time for you to be aware of what your flow is without judgment. This can mean anything from a minor change in daily habits that will put you more at ease to a major decision concerning career that may lead to a huge positive shift in your life. Staying in your flow simply requires the awareness of how your energy is affected by your thoughts or experiences, and choosing the thoughts or experiences that feed into your flow instead of taking you out of it. To go with the flow. We hear that a lot too, and when people used to tell me that, the same reaction is a gratitude. Screw you. Go away. I don't want to talk about it. I want to hear your positivity. Because I've tried positivity and it's just stupid. No, it's not stupid. It actually works. And I will tell you, gratitude, flow, and positivity are like the trinity of what you need, like faith, trust, and believing when you are feeling at your lowest. Because that's what's going to shield you, as long as you're not wearing a red shirt. Sorry, I had to. But that's what will shield you. That's what will protect you and help you get out of your mind. You know, a lot of times we go so deep into our heads that we forget that we have the capability to also pull ourselves out, you know? So let's pull another one. I knew this card would be in here. Power. Madame Laveau. This is my favorite card in the whole deck. This woman, boss bitch. Totally. Okay? Total boss babe. Alright? But Madame Laveau. Wow. She always comes up when I need her the most. This card does. And it's to remind you to stay in your power. You know, I have a little post-it note right above my computer that says, I will not surrender my power. And they made her the number one card, and they put right on it, power. So, Marie Laveau was the epitome of power and grace within the community of New Orleans. Not only was she known as an astute businesswoman, but she was also the go-to person for the spiritual remedies of everyday life. If you have drawn this card, you have been called to embrace all aspects of yourself and to rise to every occasion with confidence. You are so much more than the mundane daily tasks that often bog you down. New opportunities will help you explore the different ways you can express yourself and feel more fulfilled. That's interesting. That's the second time we've got opportunities in this deck. And I think what it's trying to tell you is to stay in your power. To stay in your power. What's interesting is that this is not the first time she's come up this week. I was watching a TV show that takes place in New Orleans. And just randomly, because it's the first time in all the time I've watched the show that they've talked about Madame Laveau. Well, Marie Laveau, but Madame Laveau. And she really was a pillar of her community. And she really was very prominent and well respected, especially in a time when this didn't happen for people of color. So that says a lot to you. And maybe some of it was fear. Nobody knows. But I honestly don't think she was malevolent. She was very benevolent. And I'm sure that if you crossed her, you would get, you know, like anybody, you cross somebody, they're going to get mad. Okay? But sometimes when people have a certain view of you, you can cross them and your own guilt is what trips you up. But you're going to blame it on something else. So the big thing about this, and I don't know why I went in this direction, but I feel like maybe she's talking to me. I don't know. If there are things in life, whether it's of your own doing or what, well, if it is of your own doing, take accountability for your actions, or your guilt will trip you up. It's not always about karma. It's just about if you know you've done something wrong, and they will F you up. Yeah, they will F you up. They'll fuck you up. But but take accountability. Make things right. You know, a lot of times we don't do that. And you know, even if you can't make things right with somebody in person, make it right in your heart, in your mind. You know, there's burn rituals that they're not metaphysical, guys. These are just things that people have been doing in therapy for, you know, about 100 years. Okay. It's about writing down things that you want to get rid of and just burning it safely. If you live in Southern California or anywhere in California, burn it safely. And just letting it go once the ashes are cooled and no longer on fire. But it's about, some people will bury it in a backyard in the darkest part so that it just stays in the shadows, that you put it back in the shadows. Some people may throw it away. I make little envelopes and stamp it. In one of my boxes, I got an evil eye stamp, so I'm excited. I need to use that. I just found it and I totally forgot about it. But, and then I'll throw it in the trash and I'll just be like, you know what? This is what I need to do to let it go. You can go to the ocean and let the ashes go in the ocean. I mean, it's not going to harm the environment. People get let go in the ocean all the time. Okay, it just becomes another part of the sand. But, and in this case, because it's paper, it'll probably just ashes. It'll just dissipate. It'll churn its way before it even hits the actual part of the ocean. But when you do that, don't just burn something and say, okay, it's gone out of my life. You have to feel it. You have to feel it cutting those cords, those negative cords. You can cut negative cords with people that you may still talk to because they may be your negative cords. I told a few people I had to cut the cords between us, and they're like, wait, what? Why? What did I do? It wasn't them. I had fed so much negativity into certain things because I was feeling so horrible about myself that I had created these connections that I didn't want, and they were strangling the good connections I had with the people that I do want to keep in my life. So I had to do that. And when I did that, things really, really started getting better. Things started turning the right way. But I didn't stop, and I took action. See, it's not always about, sometimes you have to go deeper than the first thought in your head. It's not always about, okay, well, I'm going to keep going out there and pushing. Sometimes it really is, what it comes down to is taking accountability for your actions, having faith, trust, and believing that everything is going to work out as it is meant to work out. It may not work out the way you want it to, but it will work out the way it's supposed to. Okay, so I think we're actually going to stop there today. I'm feeling like the other 2 decks I pulled are not necessary. But, think about these, okay? Gratitude, flow, and power. And I have to tell you, it's interesting because usually when this card comes up, this one is right behind it, or vice versa. In the last month, these 2 have come up twice, and you see me shuffle these things. So, I don't even put them in the same part of the deck, but they still manage to end up next to each other. So this time I think that's her message. Maybe she's the one tapping in today because my face keeps getting itchy like someone's got a feather over it. Gratitude. Stay in your flow. Go with the flow. And don't surrender your power. Become one with your power. Be your power. You are the one person in your life that you are going to spend every single moment with. Every single second. Now, you can be your enemy, you can be your frenemy, or you can be your best friend, your partner in crime. Not literally a partner in crime, but your partner in this life. It's not always about other people. Yes, they help. Yes, they add beautiful things to our lives when we have them. And I know that a lot of times there will be people like me, who are single. And I'm not saying that for attention. I'm saying that because they'll be like, but I want that person. I need that person to help me through. When you start learning to love yourself, even in the slightest bit, or you start saying, you know what? I'm going to stop my pity party and I'm going to move forward. These people will start entering your life. Those, and maybe it won't happen right away because maybe there's more work you need to do. Some people do get people come in right away because they are so lost in their darkness, they need someone to help pull them out. But if you're not that person, or you keep begging for somebody to come into your life, begging is putting the wrong vibe out there. You have to start trusting yourself enough to let someone in. Nobody can fix you but you. People can guide you. People can help you. Helpful people. Remember, that was one of the cards. So, if you're struggling, don't stop taking action. Don't stop taking action. Have gratitude. Stay in your power. Go with the flow so that you can get the big happy changes. Okay? I know it seems hard. There you go. Like Rue says, right? I'm assuming you're talking about RuPaul. Honey, if you don't love yourself, how the hell can anyone else? That is like the best quote ever. That's like my quote for the day, okay? Honey, if you can't love yourself, how the hell can anyone else? Self-love. Self-love can be the scariest, hardest thing in the world, but let me tell you this. It's not hard at all. It's hard because there are things in us that make us feel like we're unlovable. I've been there. Now I'm working on the relationship with myself. Because I've spent so much time wondering why I wasn't lovable, why nobody doesn't want me, this, that, or the other. But now I don't care. Because I realized all I was doing was putting a chokehold on that when I should have been working on the relationship with myself. Empowering myself. Reminding myself to go with the flow and to have gratitude about everything else in my life. I have beautiful, wonderful people in my life. Whoever ends up with me, that's just going to be a bonus. A beautiful bonus and a fun bonus, I hope. But that'll be the bonus. That'll be the cherry on the sundae, right? But I already have the sundae. I have the people that make up the ice cream and the whipped cream and the nuts. I might be one of the nuts. But it's the cherry on top. And the other things that happen, that could be the straw and the spoon that come, you know, so you can eat through this thing, right? The hot fudge, however you like your sundaes. All right. I love the fact that I'm using a Sunday metaphor because now I want one, but I won't. But every time I talk about food when I'm hungry, it just, everything sounds good. But you know, oh, okay. So if you want to see, okay, so Troy says he was close. Bestie says he was close. And then he included a YouTube link. So if you want to check out exactly what he said, RuPaul said, go there. But I highly recommend going there. In fact, I will put that YouTube link in my comments. Okay, so in the comments on YouTube when I upload it. But just remember, guys, the very first card was helpful people. Let people in to help you. Don't stop. Take action. Don't stop taking action. Have gratitude. Stay in your power. Go with the flow so you can have your big happy changes. I love the fact that these two decks came together today to really create and paint a picture of a story that I think a lot of us need to hear. Sometimes we'll see all these individual cards and it'll just be like, huh? But I had people on here today. Thank you, baby sibling and bestie, for coming on and, you know, adding to my brain power. And helping me through that, helping me really kind of articulate what I was trying to say. And just allow yourself that. Give yourself some grace. Okay, that was one of the first cards, one of the first meanings, and I think it was in the helpful people. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some, you know, compassion and empathy. I'm just going to share this part really quick because it's kind of crazy. So, and I didn't, when I first saw this on Twitter, I was just kind of like, boy, I was feeling really good about myself until right now. But then when I was telling older sibling about it later, I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's a different perspective. So yesterday when I was on Twitter uploading the videos or sharing the videos to there, Kevin Feige, who is the head of Marvel, was trending. And I'm like, whoa, are they coming out with something new? Are they going to introduce a new character? What's happening? Because we know Thor's coming out next month, blah, blah, blah. And it's his 49th birthday yesterday. And I thought, gosh, I'm older than this guy by about 5 months. And I literally just felt like shit for about 10 minutes. Because I'm like, this guy not only did he create this huge universe of Marvel characters, but then I thought, you know, for someone to really kind of know what they're doing, this guy's been working on this for a long time. But he took action. He didn't stop. And eventually he manifested it into this wonderful thing that a lot of us get to enjoy, right? But when I said it to older sibling, I said, boy, I was feeling like shit this afternoon or this morning. And she's like, what happened? I said, oh, Kevin Feige turned 49. I said, dude, this guy's the same age as I am. And we were like way apart on things that we've accomplished. And I said, if maybe he was doing this and starting to plan all this out when he was a kid. I said, all I was trying to do as a kid was survive. You know, yes, I have wonderful parents. Yes, I have beautiful, loving, amazing parents. But they didn't know what was happening to me when I was a kid. Nobody knew. And I had to survive that. And I thought, you know what? That was my path. That was my path. And then suddenly I reminded myself of what I have overcome in my life and how I've been able to improve these relationships in my life. And I thought, you know what? Maybe it's not on a grand scale. Maybe it's not on this big thing. But I do get inspired by the movies he puts out, the movies he greenlights. So I thought, you know what? And a lot of times there's messages in it that I get, and I'm sure a lot of other people get. Some people may just go in, watch it, and they leave. But I always think there's hidden messages in everything, if you choose to see it, whether they're intentional or not. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they just happen. I mean, I went to see the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie with Bestie and his boo. And one of the first scenes in that movie is Peter's mom dying from cancer. And I'm just like, seriously? My mom is dying. Right now, my mom is dying. I missed the point, though. Sure, he went off and had like a strange beginning to his life, but he went off to have a great adventure. And yeah, it's a fictional character. But how many times do we lose people in our lives and we forget to live? And I will tell you this, just really quick as I close up. Baby sibling put out this beautiful tribute to her son. You know, all the things he's gone through. He's lost a father. The day after his birthday, no less, he lost his father. You know, but he's becoming inspiring to his younger brother because his mom is inspiring him to be who he is. He has had to navigate emotions I'm not sure he ever realized, or, well, obviously never knew he'd have to navigate, right? But he's doing it beautifully because they're working together. Whether he looks to her as a helpful people or not, she's guiding him. And she's guiding him because she validates his feelings. They've mourned together. Not, I'm going to go cry in the corner because I don't want to see my kids hurting. When we show emotions, it shows the people that we are inspiring that we understand what they're going through. Sometimes it takes strength to validate and to show the emotions and share them with one another. And to watch this family grow in the aftermath of a tragedy has really truly been a privilege. Bestie and his boo. His mother-in-law has Alzheimer's or dementia. I'm sorry, Troy, if I got that wrong. And to watch the tributes they do with her, to see how they help her navigate the day-to-day. But it's not just all the pretty stuff that they do together. He will come straight out and he will share the hard times, just like baby sibling will share the hard times. And they will be straightforward. And I see the comments in these things of the people going through similar things that Bestie and his boo are going through. And it's just, it's beautiful. Because even when they're in pain and they're hurting and they're angry or they're frustrated, it is also a privilege to see. Because it's honest. And out there, it is helping somebody navigate this and making them feel less guilty about the anger they feel, about the pain they're going through. Because it's not always about anger and frustration at maybe that moment. It's the anger and frustration of knowing who this person used to be and watching them slowly disappear in front of you. You know, I'm sure for either of them, for either of those situations, it is not easy to navigate. You know, I mean, I had to navigate a dying mother, but she wasn't just tragically taken from me, and she slowly didn't mentally wither away. She was physically withering away. And for me, as hard as it was at the time, and as prepared as I thought I was when she left this world, I wasn't. Older sibling knew I wouldn't be, but she kept quiet. She just let me navigate my own course. And she helped me steer the ship at times. But when I see how they're moving forward, and they're, you know what? It's like Troy just said, it's the long goodbye. It really is. Even when you're watching someone die of cancer, it's the long goodbye. But with Alzheimer's and dementia, it truly is the long goodbye. Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know when it's going to happen. But you make it your life's purpose almost to take care of them and make sure that they have everything they need, that they're not scared. Because you know what? Imagine going through being the caregiver, but imagine being the person who's receiving the caregiving. How scary that must be to wake up and not know who you are, where you are, or who you're with. You know? And so, to those two, kudos. To older sibling, because I don't want you to feel left out, but to older sibling, and I know she wouldn't, I'm just saying, I truly want to thank all three of you. Because I will tell you, this is my gratitude now. It has been a privilege to have every single one of you in my life. You know, from Bestie. Bestie saved my life years and years ago. You know, and he made sure that until I was mentally back on my feet, that he would call me every day after school to make sure I was okay. That was the time I told you guys about divine intervention and the phone would not stop ringing. That was Bestie on the other line. And he never hung up. He just let the phone ring and ring and ring and ring and ring and ring. And all he said to me was, I feel like, like we needed to talk today or something. Whatever it was, he hit the nail on the head. And I finally just exploded. Not exploded in a bad way, but I broke down. Baby sibling. Baby sibling came in, baby sibling's always been in my life. I've loved her since she was a little kid. But we really became close as my mother was dying. She checked in on me every day or every other day. And if she didn't check on me every day, it was like, I'm so sorry. It's like, girl, you got a life. Okay, you got babies. I mean, literally, they were babies at the time. And then there's older sibling who has helped me. I mean, she has been, I don't want to say Captain Hook and Smee, but she's been my Smee for a very long time. And she's helped me navigate some very strange waters, some very rough waters. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't hurt that she literally lives across the hallway from me. But I know that if I ever get into a pickle, I can always turn to these three. You know, there are times when I'm having a really, really bad day and I'll get a call from Bestie. And Troy will just be like, you were on my mind today. He said that was before the days of sending someone straight to voicemail, LOL. Hashtag don't ignore me. No, yeah, I wasn't going to ignore you, but the interesting thing is the answering machine never picked up. Now, I will tell you this. My mom called after because the phone was busy for so long, and the answering machine picked up in 3 because I wasn't next to the phone. So I knew somebody was looking out for me. You know, but yeah. Oh. I don't always send you to voicemail. Sometimes I'm watching a movie, okay? It just dawned on me what he was talking about. But, no, but I do love the 3 of you, and I don't mean to get sappy, but I'm in a new place now. I tried to avoid the fact that I kept wanting to say I'm not any different than I used to be. But the truth is, I'm not the same person I was 2 months ago. I'm not the same person I was last summer. As we head into this summer, I realize I've changed. And it's not that I'm any different from the person I thought I could be. I'm becoming the person I've always known I could be. And, or Hockey or Outlander, you're so funny. Dude, I'm a Whovian, okay? I do like the show Outlander. I don't obsess about it. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I obsess over Doctor Who. But yeah, but I do obsess over hockey. I mean, I love baseball, football. I love sports, period. But hockey, I know. I mean, I watch teams that are not my teams. But anyways, all right, bestie, enough. He's calling me out on all my shit. But anyways, yeah, he says he begs to differ. Well, you know what? To me, I guess, I will say it. I do love Outlander, but I don't obsess over it like some of the other people do that have read the books, that have seen like everything, that watch the seasons over and over and over again. It's like once the season's over, it's like, okay, it's over. You know, occasionally they'll show it on a week-long binge fest and I'll catch an episode or two, but I may have lived and breathed it a while ago, but I don't live and breathe it now. But I do obsess over Doctor Who. And I think that's because it really kind of lends to my whole geeky pride thing. But, and I really connected with those fans, to be honest with you. Those are the fans I connected with, were the Doctor Who fans. So I guess that's why I really kind of pushed that in there. The only people I know that like Outlander are my friends who made me watch it, and the people who watched it because I told them to. Because it's a very well done, intelligent show. But what I was talking about earlier, since Troy did bring it up, when I said, you know, sometimes you get into these little fandoms where literally if you're a guest star in one season, they put a blue check mark next to your name because you got so many followers all of a sudden. I will say this. If you want to be have a blue check mark next to your name, get into like half a season of Outlander, because their fans are so diehard, they will put you on the damn map. You know, and I don't mean just the map in Europe, because, you know, maybe you're doing well over there, but if you're here in America, you will be beloved. So, I know. Anyways, I've gone on a little long, yammery and chatty, but anyways, I do hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Monday is Hodgepodge Monday. I'll come up with a subject, I am sure. I will do my best to not make it a ranty subject, but something that is fulfilling and you know, helpful. We'll try to stick with positivity next week. I went on a couple rants, not this week, but last week. And, you know, let's just keep trying to put some good and positive into this world, you know. Maybe if we gratitude more about the events in the world and stop complaining about it so much, we might see some changes, so let's work on that. Let's work on the gratitude, going with the flow, and staying in your power. All the Madame Laveau things, okay? Stay in your power, have gratitude, and go with the flow. All right. So again, I will see everybody on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's California time. Facebook Live. It is public. You can find it under Shelly Marie Lucas if you want to be a part of the live. If you don't want to be a part of the live, or you just don't want to wake up at 8:30 in the morning, I do upload them right afterwards to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas, where you are free and welcome to please click and subscribe. So have a great, great day, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Happy Aloha Friday. Again, thank you so much to Baby Sibling and Bestie for their input. Sorry I got a little mushy at the end on that, but I meant every word I said about all three of them, because they have been very, very pivotal parts of my journey. They're not just the stepping stones in my journey. They are the ones that are kind of laying the foundation, helping me lay the foundation. They are my helpful people. Okay? So have a great day. I will talk to everybody on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you so much.